Come and go with me on the pathway to peace.
Okay, today we are making oatmeal burgers, and we've made different oatmeal burgers before. This one's a little different. I always try to keep making things even simpler. So today is a simpler version of an oatmeal patty. And hopefully a quicker, not just simpler, but quicker and also extremely tasty, okay? Because that's what we want. We want the flavor in it as well. But a way to get the flavor in is we're actually going to blend a lot of our seasoning. So we don't have to spend time chopping them up. They're actually going to be blended in the blender. So we're going to start off with our 4 cups of water that's in the blender. To the water, we're going to add onions. And again, the reason why we're doing it this way is to simplify the process. Less time, but increasing the flavor. That's the onions, the red peppers for color as well as flavor. Yes, it saves time chopping everything up, but you'll still have the flavor there. And then we're going to put the celery in as it's blending, okay? So here we go. I'm going to add the celery to it. I really don't have to break it. I could just do it like that. That's good enough. Then we're going to add it to our pot. All these seasonings are in here, so it smells incredibly good. And we're going to just add that to our skillet there. And that's what's really going to flavor the oatmeal. Yeah, it blends them really well and smooth there. To that, I'm going to pulse these nuts. This is pecans, and this is walnuts, right? And we're going to add that for flavor and some extra fat to it. Yeah, good fat. Natural fat. Okay, so we're going to blend that. And I don't want these to be like super slurry, so I'm just going to pulse it just a few times. And that's it. Then we're going to add that. This is walnuts, and walnuts have the omegas that are really good, the omega fats that are good for the heart. All nuts, actually, eaten in moderation, are good for the heart. And to this, I'm going to add another natural fat, olives. I've already rinsed them and drained them. Yeah, they're good olives, but this one is just olives, the water, and the salt. There's nothing else added to it. They're natural olives. Right? Okay, and so they look like this. I'm just going to blend these in the blender as well. You can get it from Walmart or any natural food store, because a lot of them are trying to have more natural ingredients. And that just makes the olive look more natural. The flavor is actually better flavor. So I'm going to blend this up. Quickly chopped there, not too much. And then I'm going to add that to the pot as well. That's it. I'm done with the blending. The olives gives it a nice, rich flavor, too. And if you really want it richer, you can actually add more olives, but this is good. To that, I'm going to add our seasonings. I'm going to stir this up. The secret to the oatmeal patties is, or the main thing is, it's the same amount of water as it is oatmeal. So there's about 4.5 cups of water, about 4.5 cups of oatmeal. So the main thing about the recipe, you can add as many other things as you want, but the thing you want to keep pretty much consistent is the amount of water to the amount of oatmeal, because you want the oats to be absorbed like it would be, totally absorbed in here. If sometimes it seems like there might be a little extra water, so I may add, if I'm going to be generous on one side, I'll add a few more oats than I would water, but for the most part, they're equal parts. So here we have our nuts, our onions, our garlic powder, and other seasonings. Oh, here's the garlic powder here. And here's the salt. And to this, we have our basil and sage for flavor. Yeah, that's what's going to give it a nice, rich, robust flavor. Okay. And to that, I would like for this to come to a boil first. But this may not do as well as I'd like. I'm going to add the oatmeal and let it thicken up. I'm going to put the carrots in. I'll put them in now. You can put the carrots in now. Don't want to forget those carrots, right? Yep. Nice texture, nice flavor, and good for you. All right. Now that looks like even before we add the oatmeal, the flavors here, yeah, it looks like it actually looks and smells like almost like soup now. When we add the oats, this is going to thicken up into a patty. Wow, it smells so good. Once this comes to a boil and thickens, and I'm going to let it sit here while the next person is making their recipe, because I don't really need to take it in. And then I will shape them into patties. They don't take that long once they get thick. Do you want to see what the consistency is now? Okay. See that? But it's going to thicken up as it cooks on the stove, like oatmeal would thicken up. Yeah. And then once it thickens up, yeah, you can smell it, right? All those onions and the garlic, that's all in there. It's not hard, and it'll make enough patties for you to save up and store if you like. And it goes really good with the gravy that we're doing as well. Okay? So while the next person comes out, I will let this just kind of steam on the side here. And that's it. This will, and in fact, I'm starting to see a few bubbles in here now. This will just cook for about 10 minutes. So when the next person is done or halfway done, I'll come back and I'll get these out and shape them into patties, and they'll spend another 15 minutes or so in the cooking. Okay? 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. These don't, because they've already started cooking on here. So really what I'm doing when I put it on the burner, I'm actually not burning on the burner, I'm going to bake them. I'm getting browning consistency and stuff like that. But a lot of the cooking's actually in this process. It could take up to, what's that? Yeah, it saves a little bit of time. Yeah, the other one I had was very, very, very long, and that's why I thought I'd try something a little different. Okay, so here we are. That's it for this one, and it's going to thicken up. Okay, as you see, it's been cooking for about 10 minutes, and it's already thicker than it was before. Remember, at first it was very watery. Now it's thickened up. I can let it cook here for another 5 minutes or so, but what I'm going to do, because the next person's coming on, and this is already done, it's done okay, I'm going to let it cool off so that I can actually shape it into patties, and then I'm going to put them into patty form, okay? Okay, here are the oatmeal patties. They have cooled down, and I shaped them into patties using a lid. I pressed the batter into the lid and then flipped it out and shaped it into patties that way. They'll cook for about 20 minutes or so. Just brown on each side. Brown them, and it's going to take about 20, 25 minutes. We'll see.
Today we're going to make gravy, and this gravy is going to be made out of olive oil, soy milk, salt, garlic powder, flour, onions, and Brazil nuts. And or you can even use water as well. But traditional gravy is so unhealthy, but this gravy is very much better for you. Okay? So this is how you make it. So first you're going to brown your flour in the skillet. And it's nice and hot because it's been on the stove for a moment. So it's browning very quickly. You want to see it? So put some flour in there. And this is the part that you don't want to burn, because this is whole wheat white flour. It's a different type of whole wheat flour, but it's whole wheat. You can use just straight whole wheat flour. This is whole wheat flour too, but it's like I think it's used out of like, one is winter. They're different type of berries different type of wheat berries. So this is a different type of wheat berry. But whole wheat flour or whole wheat white flour, they're both good. So you see that? You don't want to burn it now. Don't brown it where it's burnt. You just brown it just like to toast it. But don't burn it. And then you add your onions to it. This is 1 onion sliced. But just be careful when you brown it. Don't brown it to burn it. Just, you have to be with it and stir it up. Otherwise you can burn it. Yeah, don't leave it. And you have to have a spoon with you and have your other ingredients with you, because you don't have to like put your other stuff in there before you burn your flour. And with the onions, I'm going to add some olive oil to it. And let those onions saute and get more tender because they're raw. They need to cook some. So you want to do it till your onions get soft or a little bit more cooked than. Some more oil in there. So when they're a little more tender than they were, or a little bit more cooked, because they were raw at first, and they're getting more cooked. And this is about ready to go. See that? And remember, don't burn your flour. That's a big thing. Over here, while those onions are cooking, I'm gonna blend up some Brazil nuts. Now this is optional. You can blend up with milk or water, and you don't have to put Brazil nuts in it, but it makes better gravy. So you can just skip this process altogether. But this is if you want to do this. The Brazil nuts are very healthy and they make the gravy taste really good. I like it in there. Okay, so Brazil nuts, you put some in here. So blend it up with some soy milk, or you can blend it up with water. Just enough to blend it well. So about a cup, about a cup. Okay, and now I'm gonna add that to this. This is ready to go. This is very good. So pour this into here, and you want to stir it up to prevent it from becoming clumpy. So I'll put some more soy milk to it, because gravy isn't this thick. You want it to put enough soy milk to get it to your desired consistency. Yeah, you can add water to it if you want to too. You can do a mixture of both. It's up to you. But I like milk. It's like creamy. I will suggest you use some milk in there, even if you mix the two together. But this soy milk doesn't have any sweetener in it, and that's good because I don't really care for sweetener in my gravy. So this is just water and soybeans. That's it. And that's the type of soy milk that you'll like to use. Not a lot of soy milk with a lot of sugar in it. Just, this is good. So this is unsweetened soy milk. Just stir this up to get it to your desired consistency. And it's still too thick. You just got to add enough soy milk to it. But I'm going to go ahead and add the salt, some salt to it. And some garlic powder. Just to taste. And add some more. Let me stir this up first. Now I'm going to add some more soy milk to it. You see? And I still think I should put some more soy milk to it. Yeah. It's basically the consistency that I might put just a little bit more. Because even when gravy sits, it's on the thicken up. So even if you go on the thinner side, just know it's on the thicken up anyway. Even if you have it thick, it's on the thicker than you have it. So and there you go. That's the gravy. See? So this is to go on top of the rice and on top of the oat patty, the oat burger. And this is going to be good. You can actually, what we're going to probably do is take those oat burgers and put the gravy on top of it and put it in the oven for a little bit and put that on top of our rice.
Today we're making brown rice, and it's simple to make. It's not hard. It's all you do is you're just gonna put your rice in there. 3 cups of rice and 5 cups of water. Sure that gets in there. And then he's gonna add like 1 teaspoon of salt, and yeah, when it starts boiling, put it on low. That's how you do it. Yeah.
All right, so today we're gonna make cornbread, and So to begin our cornbread, we first need corn flour, corn grits. We use grits, which is made out of corn, and we blend it up so it's like cornmeal. And so we got some cornmeal, some plain cornmeal, and also we have wheat flour. And to this mixture, we will add some salt. And this is Himalayan salt that we're using here. Yeah. Anyway, we have the salt in there now, and so also to that, I'm going to add coconut milk. It does not have a lot of preservatives and stuff added to it. It is unsweetened. The ingredients is coconut and water and jar gum. We also add coconut oil to that mixture. And then we have our honey. But then we have our honey. Most of this honey came from South Carolina, which it should be a very special thing. Part of it came from our hives ourselves. Yeah. And so now we add our milk, and the consistency what we want our cornbread to be before putting it in the oven is around like icing. How we make icing. So there's no prescribed amount for milk, just till it's about the icing consistency. This is West soy milk, and all it is soy and water. That's all it is. So very simple, and it's unsweetened. Make sure you get the unsweetened. Well, unsweetened is the best one to get. And so now we're gonna mix this up to around the icing, as I said, consistency. Looking pretty nice right here. Yeah. So it's starting to look like cornbread batter. Alright, so now I'm going to put this batter into my pan here that I put coconut oil in. So now I will kind of spread around about 1 inch thick. You cook it at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes. All right, so here's the cornbread that we made earlier. And on top of it, I'm going to add some... I made a mixture of honey with some expeller press coconut oil. I'm going to add it to the cornbread on top of it. It's best to do this when your cornbread's warm, because when it's warm, the coconut oil will melt easier.